He was the most powerful man on earth, a king whose reach spanned the horizon, whose name was etched in gold and stone alike, reigning over the cradle of civilization. A king feared by nations, respected by empires. Nebuchadnezzar was not just a builder, but a conqueror whose shadow stretched from the Mediterranean to the Persian Gulf. He built a kingdom that seemed untouchable, a fortress of civilization in a wild, unforgiving world. Under his rule, Babylon became the center of the ancient universe. But then, something happened. Something that would shake the foundations of his throne and the very core of his identity. A mystery that has echoed through the ages. For 7 years, he lived like an animal, stripped of his crown, his sanity, and his humanity. The most powerful man on earth, reduced to the dust. This is not a myth. This is not a fable meant to frighten children. This is his story, the rise and fall of King Nebuchadnezzar. Nebuchadnezzar II, king of Babylon, ruled for 43 years. At his height, his word was law across the known world. He was a master builder. He expanded his kingdom, built massive structures that defied the limits of ancient engineering, making Babylon a wonder of the world. He made Babylon a symbol of power that would echo through the centuries. To him, nothing was impossible. Every whim became law, and every knee bowed to his name. But absolute power carries a hidden cost, a slow poison that seeps into the soul. And slowly, something began to grow, not in his kingdom, but inside him. Pride. It started as a whisper, a self-assurance that he alone was the architect of his fate and the savior of his people. He began to believe his own legend. He looked at everything he had built, the walls, the gardens, the temples, and believed it was all because of him. He had forgotten the source of all authority. One night, he had a dream, not a normal dream, but a vision that felt more real than the stone of his palace walls. A vision that terrified the man who feared nothing, a massive tree, reaching the heavens, visible to the whole earth. It provided food and shelter for every living creature. It was the perfect image of his own empire. But suddenly, a holy one descended from heaven and cried aloud, "Cut down the tree, chop off its branches, scatter its fruit, let the animals flee from under it." It was cut down. Only the stump remained, bound in chains of iron, and a voice declared, "Let him live like an animal for 7 years. Let his heart be changed." The king was troubled. He felt the weight of the vision, a cold dread he could not explain. He called for his wise men, but none could speak the truth. Only one man could, Daniel, a man whose wisdom came from a higher place. He stood before the king, not with fear, but with a message of warning and grace from the Most High. Daniel told him the truth. "You are that tree, O king." He warned him to turn from pride, to practice righteousness, and perhaps his prosperity would continue. For a moment, the king listened. For 12 months, the empire was quiet. But as time passed and nothing happened, the king's fear began to fade into arrogance. He forgot the warning. He convinced himself it was just a dream, until one day, while walking on the roof of the royal palace of Babylon, he looked out over the glory of his creation and said, "Is this not Babylon that I built by my power for the glory of my majesty?" And before the words left his mouth, it happened. A voice fell from heaven. "The kingdom has departed from you." The judgment had arrived. His mind left him. In an instant, the great builder became a stranger to himself. He was driven away from the people and into the wilderness. He ate grass like cattle. His hair grew long like eagle's feathers. His nails lengthened like birds' claws. The great king became unrecognizable, a beast. For 7 years, He lived like this. No throne, no power, no control over his own thoughts, only the elements and the silence. No one came for him. No empire could save him. He was alone with the elements and the silence, learning the lesson he had long ignored. Then, one day, at the end of the appointed time, he looked up, and everything changed. He raised his eyes to heaven, and his reason returned to him. His mind returned, his kingdom was restored, but this time he was a different man. He praised the Most High, whose dominion is everlasting and kingdom is forever. He understood that power was never truly his. It was a gift from the King of Kings. Pride can build, but only humility can sustain. He issued a new decree. Now I, Nebuchadnezzar, praise and exalt and glorify the King of Heaven, because everything he does is right and all his ways are just. Those who walk in pride, he is able to humble. The story of Nebuchadnezzar is a reminder that even the greatest empires are but dust before the eternal. From the heights of Babylon to the depths of the wild, and back to the throne. This is the story of the man who ruled the world and found his soul. Subscribe for more untold stories of faith and transformation. Join us as we explore the deep mysteries of our past. What are you still carrying? Follow for more.